Okay, y'all, here's why I don't judge people who talk shit and rant. Because sometimes if somebody's going through it, whether it's personal trauma, whether it's ancestral trauma, whether it's pent up emotions, whether it's old programming, whether it's reprogramming, sometimes yelling and vocalizing things and just saying what you gotta say is the right way. Sometimes it literally takes screaming and shouting or venting, or, you see so many people bantering about this, that, and the other. And you know what? As long as they get it all out and then they evolve and then, it comes full circle and they learn from it and this, that, and the other, then it's actually can be a healthy tool in the toolbox. But having control of it is very much key. But you will never learn control or self-discipline if you do not practice it. So if somebody's enraged and they have a ton of shit fires and storms going on in their life at the same time, it is extremely normal and sometimes absolutely necessary and acceptable if someone starts going off. Now, does it mean that the person whose feelings are getting hurt? It doesn't mean it's okay to hurt feelings, but at the same time, if you're a strong individual and you're intelligent and you've been raised right and you have the mindset and the knowledge of not to take things personally, then that's not going to affect you. So it's kind of like a catch-22, and both ends, it makes sense, because it's like, yeah, it's not right for this person to blast on this person, but this person's in here getting their feelings hurt now. And it's like, but if they were emotionally, so it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, people shouldn't get their feelings hurt, but that also means like people need to be cognizant of when they have this overrage pent up energy. And it's like, talk to yourself in your car, scream in your car, get on the phone with a friend, like do whatever you need to do, be straightforward, but don't just vomit it out on people who don't want to hear it. Now, if you're raising awareness in an environment about a situation, and so be it. But sometimes God will call you to do things, or the universe will call you to do things, and you will speak through things that you don't even recognize that you're doing. And that is just all a part of the frequencies and the cosmic, telepathic highways of energy, and absolutely how fucking things work. That's how things work. Anyways, that was just like this little aha moment of information I just had about people who vent out or get a lot of pent up rage and have a lot of different things that they are working through. Whether it be like old traumas or past relationship garbage, or, arguing with this person screwed me over and then this person did this. It's like getting it out in a healthy way, which is why it's really important to have healthy diet, healthy exercise, healthy balance in the body, balance in the mind. It's not just about, you can eat right and meditate, but you also need to work out, and you also need to do this, and you also need to do that. So yeah, there's a lot of components that people need to also do, but balance is key. And things do sometimes get off balance, but the key is to always practice to bring things back to center and stay at one and be peaceful and not let yourself get jolted by don't get jolted by outside forces. And then if it's somebody and they're constantly modeling this behavior and it's upsetting you, start giving them the behavior back to them and see how they react about it. See how they like it. If they don't like it, bring it to, the table with the conversation like, hey, you do this all the time as well. And so I'm picking up don't do the accusations, but just be honest. Be like, I feel like I'm picking up this habit from you because you're doing this, and now I'm starting to do this, and I've noticed it's negatively impacting me. I don't like it when you do it, and now I'm doing it, and I don't want to do it. So having the intelligence to step away from situations, whether it's in an argument or whether it's in the heat of a moment or whether it's in the middle of a fight, is so, so important. And also, if you're a stranger, knowing when to mind your business and when to get involved is also extremely important. If it's not in life and death endangering, don't get involved. But You know, like if it's somebody that you've never seen before, you know, have no history, you have no background of their information, like don't get involved, right? But obviously, like, you know, if you're like, you need to save somebody's life, that's something completely different. But people nose themselves in other people's business and create more problems, when really, if everybody just keeps sharing information and knowledge and positive input and tidbits on how to handle situations in different circumstances and laying down the different variables and different thoughts and ideas, it helps other people learn to think critically. And that is so key to evolving human consciousness and elevating. There are levels to each human consciousness, and in order to tap deeper into those, you need to gather more knowledge, be one with yourself, and practice all of these things. So with me, friends, there's never any judgment. There is never any judgment. I have no problem with telling somebody I don't approve of a behavior, but at the same time, I can always see many variables and many angles to many different situations. And, you know, whether it's I've known somebody who's been there, or I've been there myself, or this, that, and the other, I have a very open mind and I'm very understanding, and I try to bring understanding, education, and lots of different things to the table, or to any scenario or any situation when anybody's asking me for advice or my opinion, because there's never a one shoe fits all with any particular thing that someone may want advice on. There's just always too many variables to say one thing and be done. And honestly, with this statement, I'm touching base on a bunch of different scenarios and circumstances and this, that, and the other. So hopefully one of those is hitting home. But typically, I find when I spew my knowledge and my intel, it comes out how it needs to come out for whoever's receiving it. And it's the same for everybody. So if you're listening to somebody and you're listening to an hour-long podcast, you might only get 5 minutes out of that entire podcast, but the 5 minutes you got were what you needed to hear at that time. So re-listening to things, rereading books, reevaluating yourself every time you level up is also a great way to expand your mindset and expand your value, and don't single anybody out as far as like knowledge. Because sometimes somebody who is completely opposite of you may have really great info about their life because they can see it from the opposite end of things, and vice versa. So I tend to always just like have an open mind with knowledge and go with what feels right in my soul and with my spirit and in my spirit guide and my intelligent knowing. And then I just, use my info wisely and make positive choices and try to share and inspire others with the world, and then share the information with my son. And then if something comes up with an individual I'm interacting with in real life, I feel like it's everybody's duty to share knowledge, especially if they have knowledge that can be positively impacting others to make life better.